Good morning, everybody. My name is Allison Haynes, and I am DM Travel, basically. I am the odd man out. I'm located in Atlanta, Georgia, so I work remotely with these folks, and I've been in the hospitality industry for about 25 years. Joined forces, I've worked with Dean for years, and so we joined forces, and he decided to take over travel for numerous reasons. To gain control of what's being delivered to your donors, and it's worked out beautifully. And I just want to touch base a little bit on a few things, a few questions that come up always with when we're talking to nonprofits. And of course, the first one is always the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and that's why should I use consignment? And you absolutely don't have to. We do love donated trips, but they come with a price. We've seen lately with the real estate market, people are getting rid of their homes, upgrading their homes. So the real estate market is sort of in flux. And if you've got, a donor that's donated their home at an event a year and a half ago, and now all of a sudden they don't have that home anymore, it's kind of something that you've got to pick up and deal with, and consignment avoids that altogether. It also takes the burden of fulfillment. I think this is the biggest point I want to make on consignment, is that it takes the burden of fulfillment off of the nonprofit. So if you have a donated home and you have a winner for that, you also have to coordinate all of that. And with our trips, you don't. I take that from the very beginning of an introduction to the winner and completely take that off your plate. It's also a great way to fill in. We have a variety of options without the burden of asking your donors for more. So you can fill in, maybe you get 2 or 3 donated trips, and that's wonderful. And we can kind of fill in 4 or 5 more to fill out the live lineup. It also allows for sponsorship opportunities. So if you have people that want to sponsor and give to your organization, they can pay for the trip on reserve, and then you can auction it off, and it basically becomes a fully donated trip. And then just the ability of sheer volume, like Dean said, we sold 135 trips. That was in, I believe, 8 or 9 events. So, with consignment, we're able to sell these packages multiple times, and that's really where you start to see your donations kind of build really fast. The next thing that we'll talk about is why you should put travel in your event at all. And I probably don't need to preach too long on this, because it is the biggest generator of donations at a fundraising gala. Travel is back. I know that we went through a very nasty about 18 months of sort of being locked into the US, and even that was questionable. But it's really opened up, and every day we're seeing things. Sorry. Oh, I was trying to keep my video, just to let you guys know, I was trying to keep my video off because we're having storms in Atlanta and my bandwidth is not great. So I'll turn it on, and then if it blips, then we'll turn it back off. And really, the goal for the nonprofit is really to marry that your donors' philanthropy budget, because they all have one, and they also all have a vacation budget. And as you and I both know, vacation budgets have been building up. People haven't been traveling quite as much as they're used to. So it's a great opportunity to sort of maximize on that, and be able to provide a way to raise money and for them to travel. Okay, next one, Kayla. And then I just want to spend a little bit of time on why you should use us, because this really is what sets us apart. We're auctioneer owned and managed. That means Dean owns and manages the company completely. So he is personally invested in every single trip that is sold and is sent out. And I can attest to that, because we have a very extensive meeting every Monday where we actually go through trips that are going out, trips that are sold, trips that are in development. It's an open two-way street, and he knows every single one of your donors that is traveling, and you just don't find that with the big box companies. And that just makes it easier for us to fulfill. It's like Dean said, we don't like the word one-stop shop, but it really is. You're taking the event from the auction and everything that goes on at the auction all the way through to the travel, which could happen as much as 2 years later after the event. We sell and deliver these trips completely soup to nuts. So all of the pre-marketing, all of the pre-event marketing is done with us. We give you everything that you need. If you buy the trips from us, we deliver them. A lot of times in a event, you'll have a trip from this company, 2 trips from that company, and then you've got to keep track of all of that, and it can be, especially these days, a little daunting. And we do this personally, so I'm involved in every trip that is sold. I'm backed up by Kayla and Dean and Gail for support, but I'm involved in planning every single trip that goes out. And so I know exactly where everybody is. I know what's going on. I know these trips very, very well because I work with them day in and day out. So it's just an added service to your donors. We focus on private residences, which is a little bit different than some of the companies out there. We don't really see the value in hotels. They don't really generate big money at events. Most of the patrons that you have at your events are, relatively high net worth people. Some of them travel all the time for a living. The last thing they really want to do is spend a week in a Marriott after they've traveled in Marriott all year long. So the private homes offers, sort of a different experience. We're able to create more of a whole experience instead of just a trip. And so that's really what we focus on. We can customize trips. While we don't do that with every trip, and we have a menu of trips that you can see on our website, we can customize. We have the ability to take one of our packages and add to it. We can, if you have a casino night, we could build, a really incredible trip to Las Vegas. You have a fire and ice theme. We could build a fire and ice package to go along with that to kind of headline the live. We can really be creative. And I think most importantly is that we stand behind our trips. And I've never seen that more true than in the last year and a half, or the last 2 years, with what COVID did to a lot of these consignment companies and what it did to even, the hospitality industry as a whole. We are just now, we went and we eliminated all of the expiration dates of all outstanding trips. We still haven't implemented that back in yet. So we're working on trips that were won in, late 2018, 2019, when they were never allowed, they were never able to travel and would have otherwise expired. So that's the part that Dean is very passionate about. We don't want to sell you trips and then hope that they don't travel. We want your people to travel, because if they travel and they have a great time, which we know that they will, then that's just more trips that are going to be, in your next event and will generate more money for you. Currently, our top trips are the Kentucky Bourbon trip, which is a 4-night trip to Lexington, and they get 4 distillery tours. It's kind of a packed trip, but it's fantastic. Dinner at Jeff Ruby's there in Lexington. And it's just a great trip. It's 2 couples. So it's or 4 guys, or I guess girls, I don't know, but it's 4 people for 4 nights. The Turks and Caicos trip, another one, top seller. Even with the relatively stiff restrictions getting into Turks and of course then back into the US, it hasn't really slowed sales down at all on that package. Tuscany, the same way. We saw a lot of sales of Tuscany, now we're seeing a lot of Tuscany being actually booked, which is great. Back over to Europe. Europe is definitely back open for business. And then of course, Ireland, Cabo, St. Martin, all of those big top sellers. But you can visit our website and you see it on the screen there, and just, you know, look through the trips. That's the other thing that we do is twice a year, Dean and I sit down and we evaluate the trips. And if there's ones that are just, you know, nobody's buying, we just remove them. And we're always looking to replace them with new and exciting stuff, so that, you know, year after year, when you stay with us, we have a different offering coming, and we can provide that to you, so your patrons aren't looking at the same. You know, if you sell 10 Turks and Caicos trips at the event in 22, maybe in 23, you don't really want to put Turks and Caicos in there, but you want something just as fabulous. So we can, you know, we're constantly looking at that as well. And that's it. If you guys ever need me, I'm available as well, like Kayla, 24/7. You know, I am available 24/7. I wish I could say I wasn't, but I am. So just any questions you have, feel free to email me, shoot me a text. I'm happy to help. And that's just a picture of a few of our destinations. But if you go on our website, you get a lot more detail. Just check them out.